All right, guys, I am going to go ahead since I am not there to do this with you in person. I'm going to make a quick video just going over this new vocabulary list that we have rolling out today. So, excuse me. If you haven't taken the MOVE quiz yet, you will take that upon your return to school. We have a copy of it written with your name on the top of it, just waiting for you to take that so you can reference that list to study where we put it in notability, and then you can just make sure you're prepared to take that quiz upon your return to school. For everybody who already took that MOVE quiz, we are on to our next list. We will, though, have, because of the 2 days off next week, you will actually have this week for a little over a week, about a week and a half, like you had this first list. That's because of the 2 days off next week, so you will not actually test on this new list until the 15th of September. That's still a Wednesday. All right, let me walk you through really quick, guys. Some of you may have already moved these lists over, but if you're not sure how to move your list over into Notability, I will show you again. We're going to go to Schoology first. You're going to go into your English course. You're going to hit for the week of 8:30 because that is the week we're still in, and we're going to go to Word Study because that's our vocab. You'll notice that I have unpublished last week's lists and have published the new lists. Week 2 grad gress word list. You'll also notice that there is a vocab Quizlet link there that you can use throughout the week with your opener to study and things like that. And I will be adding this video to that folder as well once it's done. So let's go ahead and move this list. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to push my send a copy to Notability. I'm going to say add to an existing note. Do not create a new note. That's so that we can make sure that and am I going to be able to find, there it is. I'm going to add it to my Greek and Latin roots document and say import. That's how mine works. If you're on the website version instead of the app, it may look a little differently than this, but you guys know how to move a PDF from Schoology into Notability. Worst case scenario, if you ever run into troubles with that, take a screenshot of this, like that. As well and write on that. So going into Notability now, I'm going to go ahead and pull up what I just put in there. This allows me to be able to make some notes on here. Like we've said in class when we've gone over lists, if I'm writing it, you should most likely be writing it as well. So if you have something else, though, that helps you remember it, I'm cool with you writing that. I just want you to be engaged with this list, and I want you to be doing something actively to learn these words and to make the connections that you're supposed to be making between these root words. So this week we've got grad and gress, and that is step. That's our meaning there, okay? So our first word here is aggressive. It means hostile, pushy, stepping into someone's space with forceful energy. I like to think about this whenever people talk about somebody doing something aggressively. That would be turning it into an adverb, obviously, but this to be aggressive is almost like to do something with anger. And that makes me think of anger when I look at the word aggressive, just because of kind of how it's spelled and things like that. So it's kind of like with anger, like you could be aggressive and kind of go at somebody, if you're kind of getting in an argument with them. I always think like you could do something aggressive, like you could whisk an egg aggressively, and then you're doing it like really hard and really whatever. So yeah, aggressive is hostile, pushy, doing something with anger. The next one is centigrade. This has to do with temperature rating. Centigrade is Celsius. I know, obviously, in the United States, we use Fahrenheit most of the time, but Celsius is what they use overseas a lot of times. And they are steps on a thermometer. So this is when you've got freezing and boiling as 100-degree intervals. So you've got 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling, but it's those steps. So it's just the fact that you have that thermometer and there's little steps that go up in progression. Okay. We have degrade here. Degrade is basically it's the same as a word from last week, the word demote. Do you guys remember that from last week? This just means that you're going to kind of take somebody down a step. Usually it's at a job. Or demote was at a job. It could be at a job. It could be your position. Maybe in a membership or something like that. I also think a lot of times I hear this word used with this part of the definition, where it's almost like you're just trying to like make someone feel bad. You know, like bring them down, if that, relates a little bit better. Talk down about them or whatever. So there's a couple different things there that degrade can mean, but it is this verb, and that means that it's the action of taking somebody else down. Okay. We've got digress here. That's another verb. Digress is like what I talk about with me when I talk about tangent. If I'm talking about all of a sudden somebody says, "Hey, I'm gonna be Mickey Mouse for Halloween," and all of a sudden I'm like, "Yeah, Halloween's coming," and I start talking about that after I was trying to stay on a different path. It's losing focus. Okay. And people will say, when they do that, like, "Oh, I digress, let me get back on topic." Gradual, again, the step-by-step change. Gradual, a lot of times like a temperature change can be gradual a lot of times. It just is this idea that it doesn't go like super fast. It's kind of like an overtime thing, this step by step. Graduate is to move up a step in education. Usually it's out of a school. So like you graduate, from buildings or from high school or from college. But you're just going a step up again in education. Progress is to move a step in the positive direction. You've got this beginning there, pro, which goes right to this idea of positive right here. So you know that you're stepping, and pro would mean that you're going in the positive direction of that. Progression is basically what happens as a result of this verb. So this is the noun that results from this verb. When you progress, there is a progression. You're going step by step sequence, in one direction or another. Then we've got regress. Regress, a lot of times, people see and they think it means again. That is not the case here, okay? Here means that you're going backward, okay? You're going back, and it's a step not positive. So it would actually be the opposite. These two here, you would have those combined because they're opposites. You either progress or you regress. And then the last one here is upgrade, to move or step up a level. Obviously, we've got up right here, and we're saying, there it is, step up a level right there. So if you're going, a lot of times in quality, you might upgrade your hotel room when you go to be a bigger room, a nicer room. Maybe it has a tub in it or something like that. You might upgrade your vehicle. When you buy a new one, you might get something a little nicer. So yeah, those are the words for this week, guys. Hopefully you've taken some notes or you have figured out some things that you can write down on your own list there. But if you've got any questions, as always, let me know. And other than that, love you, goodbye. Mwah.